G'day guys, welcome back to my YouTube video, and today I am doing some Elden Ring's beginner tips to help you new guys out at the very start of your journey. So, without further ado, let's get on with it. First, let's go to the multiplayer menu. You're going to select either your little compass or the finger, and you want to set your two groups here, Group 1 to Seekers and Group 2 to Degi. This will give you a bonus whenever anybody in these two groups defeats an Elden Lord or a Rune Bearer, and it will give you a small XP boost. So it's always worth doing that just to get that little bit of extra XP. And since we're on the topic of XP, you might want to set your time of day to nighttime. Now, walking around at nighttime is very dangerous, especially at the lower levels, but it can have multiple effects. One of these effects is you can find skulls easier. If you find one of these skulls, just roll through it and you can pick up the little rune. And to use this rune, go into your inventory, select the rune you just got, select use, or use selected to use them in bulk, and you can then get 200 runes for picking them up. They're always useful to on the hunt. If you're in your menu and it looks like this and you don't want it to look like this, you want to see what you're doing while using items, just simply click your right thumbstick in and you'll get a little partial window here. This will give you the ability to move around and use items at the same time, as well as see what's going on, because in some scenarios you are being hounded by enemies and you just need to see what's going on. And the main benefit of walking around at night time is, do you see the golden leaves that are flying around everywhere? This will grant your character an extra XP bonus whenever these leaves are flying around. This is granted by the Erd tree, dropping its blessing leaves all over, all over the place. So that is the benefit of walking around at night. On to our next tip, dealing with heights. There are a couple of ways we can deal with heights. We can either go into our crafting menu and craft these little coloured stones here, rainbow stones, and we can use them and drop them off a height. If it glows, it means it's safe and we should be able to jump off there without too much danger. So I'll just demonstrate that now, and you should be able to land. But if the height is too great and you throw your little rainbow stones off, it should break, and if it breaks, it's not safe. There is also another way you can test this, by swinging your weapon. If you swing your weapon with no movement input, your character will not fall off the edge, and if the edge is lethal, you'll be fine and it will just stay on the edge there, as long as you do not put any kind of input in. And if the ledge is safe, you should be able to swing and fall relatively safely. So there are two ways of dealing with heights. Next tip, hunt the merchants down. You want to hunt these merchants down because they've got these little books here, these little cookbooks. You want to get as many of these as you can. These help you with crafting items and will help you greatly through the game. They're a must in my opinion, so make sure you're hunting down the merchants for this. Also, thanks to the new update, we can now see where the merchants are on our map after we've been travelled to them and found them once, so we can always hunt them down again. While we're on the topic of maps, if you notice this little symbol icon on your map, this little red circle thing here, that means it is a cave. If you adventure into that cave, you will able to get smithing stones to level up your weapon. So that is crucial that you hunt that down. Also, if you see this symbol on your map, that means there is a map location there. You can set a beacon by pressing A, and you can travel to that destination. You will find this sort of obelisk, kind of like gravestone thing, with an important map piece down at the bottom of it. And that will then reveal the entire area of where you just are. Also, important items. If you see this purple looking item, it means it's a rare item, so it's worth the risk to grab these kind of things. Next, let's talk about defense. There are a couple of things we can do to defend ourselves, and one of them is learning the parrying system. Watch your enemy closely. You want to watch his hand, not the weapon. By watching the hand, we can parry much more effectively, knock them down and get a crucial hit, a critical hit when on the floor, or you can knock them to their knee. You can also hold your shield up and do a heavy attack afterwards to get a card counter and break their poise, leading to a critical hit. So you can either get a critical hit or break their poise, which is always nice. This does take some practice, and I will make a video on it later on, but it's worth learning. On to our next tip. You want to go out of your way to find these little beetles here. These little beetles can give you all kinds of things. Ashes of War, HP and MP, and smithing stones used in smithing, so they're really useful, so keep an eye out for them. You can also land critical attacks by crouching behind an enemy, sneaking up and performing a light attack. This will give you a critical attack, in most cases severely damaging the enemy that you're fighting. You can also use jump attacks with heavier weapons to break poise. Another way to deal with a mounted enemy, if you're unsure on parrying them off the horse, you can target the enemy on top of the horse, line yourself up and prepare for a full-on heavy attack. If you've done this correctly, you can knock them off the horse, knocking them onto the back, leading to you getting a critical. Okay guys, there we have it, some beginner tips for Elden Ring. Now guys, use these tips and go get some XP and enjoy Elden Ring. I'll see you in the next one real soon.